From the ashes of deceit, Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge of the UES Defiance, her steel-gray eyes fixed on the massive space station looming ahead. The Galactic Assembly headquarters glittered like a jewel against the backdrop of stars, its crystalline spires and golden domes a testament to the technological advancement of the 100-plus species that called it home. Alina's jaw tightened. All that beauty built on lies. "Final approach to Docking Bay 7, announced Lieutenant Kai Chen from the helm. "They're sending docking protocols now." Alina nodded, her dark hair tied back in a precise military bun. "Proceed as instructed. Remember, everyone, we're here as Earth's official representatives. No matter what we discover, maintain protocol." The crew of 30 moved with practiced efficiency as the Defiance glided into the assigned bay. Humanity had joined the Galactic Assembly just 18 months ago, welcomed as the newest sentient species to achieve interstellar travel. The excitement had been palpable then. First contact, technological exchange, membership in a vast community of intelligent life. It had seemed like the beginning of a golden age. If only they had known. As Alina led her diplomatic team through the station's vast corridors, she couldn't help but note the reactions of the various aliens they passed. Some skittered away nervously. Others watched with what she now recognized as thinly veiled contempt. A few whispered the word they thought humans couldn't understand. Deathworlders. The conference room doors slid open to reveal Ambassador Threll, a tall, willowy being with iridescent blue skin and 4 graceful arms. His species, the Xilari, held the Assembly's highest diplomatic positions. Alina had once found them beautiful and wise. Now she saw calculation behind those large violet eyes. "Captain Reyes." Threll's voice was melodic, his universal translator perfectly calibrated. "The Assembly welcomes Earth's representatives. I trust your journey was pleasant." "Efficient," Alina replied, taking her assigned seat. Her team spread out around her. Dr. Sofia Rodriguez, Earth's leading xenobiologist, Major James Harrison, military advisor, and Chief Engineer Marcus Wong, there to evaluate the newest technology exchange. Threll's skin rippled slightly, a tell Alina had learned to recognize as discomfort. "We have prepared the documents for the next phase of our technological integration program. The Assembly is most pleased with Earth's contributions of rare minerals. Your planet's geological diversity is truly remarkable." Sophia slid a data tablet toward Alina, her dark eyes flashing a warning. The numbers didn't add up. Again. "Before we proceed, Ambassador," Alina said smoothly, "we'd like clarification on certain discrepancies in our exchange protocols. Our analysis suggests that the technology we're receiving is significantly less advanced than what was outlined in our agreement." The temperature in the room seemed to drop by several degrees. A misunderstanding. Surely, Threll's extra set of arms folded defensively. "The technology is appropriate for Earth's current development level. The Assembly has protocols for integration." "And what about the accidents?" Major Harrison interrupted, his voice hard as granite. 3 colony outposts have experienced catastrophic equipment failures in the past month. 72 dead. Threll's skin darkened to indigo. "Most unfortunate. New technology requires proper implementation. Perhaps your engineers." "Our engineers found these," Marcus said, placing a small metallic device on the table. "Embedded in the life support systems on Proxima Colony. Not human technology. Not part of any system you provided us. An intentional sabotage device, Ambassador." The silence that followed was deafening. Alina leaned forward. "We've been patient, Ambassador. We followed your rules, signed your treaties, trusted your guidance. In return, we've been systematically robbed of our resources and sabotaged when we began to notice. These accusations are accurate." Alina cut him off. "And you know it. We're not the first, are we? How many other Deathworld species have you exploited this way? Drain their resources, keep them dependent on your technology, eliminate them if they resist." Threll's composure shattered. You don't understand your place in the galactic order. Deathworlders like you, evolved in high gravity, extreme weather, alongside apex predators. You're dangerous. Your biology, your psychology, makes you unpredictable. The assembly contains you for the safety of all. And there it was. The truth finally exposed. This meeting is over, Alina said, rising from her seat. Earth is reconsidering its relationship with the Galactic Assembly. That would be unwise. Threll's voice had turned cold. No species leaves the Assembly. The consequences would be severe. Alina smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Is that a threat, Ambassador? A reality. Your species evolved on a death world, Captain, but you've never experienced true danger until now. Back aboard the Defiance, Alina gathered her senior staff in the secure conference room, electronic countermeasures humming to prevent surveillance. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, Sophia said, disgust evident in her voice. We're just another resource to exploit until we're used up. Major Harrison nodded grimly. And if we resist openly, they'll crush us. Their military technology is centuries ahead of ours. Alina paced the room, her mind racing. But there's something they don't understand, something fundamental about humans they've overlooked. Marcus looked up from the sabotage device he was examining. What's that, Captain? We evolved on a death world, Alina said, a determined gleam in her eye. We didn't survive by playing fair. We survived by adapting, by changing the rules when necessary. She activated the holographic display at the center of the table. They expect us to either continue being exploited or to declare open defiance and be crushed by conventional warfare. Those are the rules of their game. So we don't play that game. She pulled up images of the various assembly species. Look at their physiologies. Most evolved on low-gravity worlds with stable climates and few predators. They're specialized, efficient within narrow parameters. Sophia picked up the thread. While humans are adaptable generalists, we can endure conditions that would kill most assembly species, higher gravity, temperature extremes, pressure changes. Not just biological advantages, Harrison added, understanding dawning. Psychological ones. They follow rules because their evolutionary history rewarded rule following. Earth rewarded those who could adapt when the rules changed. Exactly. Alina's eyes gleamed. They're calling us Deathworlders like it's an insult. I say we show them what Deathworlders can really do. Over the next 3 months, the plan took shape in absolute secrecy. While Earth's official representatives continued diplomatic dialogues, a shadow initiative was launched. Engineer Marcus Wong developed stealth technology that made human ships virtually invisible to assembly sensors, which were calibrated to detect materials and energy signatures common to their own technology. Dr. Rodriguez created environmental suits that allowed humans to operate in various alien environments, while leveraging their death world advantages, strength and endurance in lower gravities, resilience to pressure and temperature changes. Major Harrison formed the Unconventional Warfare Division, training special forces in asymmetric tactics never before seen in galactic warfare. The first mission launched 6 months after that fateful meeting. The UES Shadow, a retrofitted stealth vessel, slipped undetected into the Xilari home system. Its mission: intelligence gathering on the species that controlled the assembly. Captain Mira Patil guided the Shadow through a dense asteroid field, using the natural cover to approach a Xilari communication hub. In normal gravity, the maneuvers would be risky. In the Xilari's 0.7 G environment, they were child's play for pilots trained on Earth. Approaching target, Mira reported. No indication they've detected us. Lieutenant David Okafor, the mission's infiltration specialist, checked his adaptive suit one last time. Ready for EVA. Infiltration packages prepared. The mission was elegantly simple. David would place data collection devices on the station's exterior, allowing them to intercept Xilari communications without ever setting foot inside. The devices, disguised to mimic common space debris, would transmit data through encrypted channels that the assembly systems weren't designed to detect. As David moved across the station's surface, the lower gravity made him faster and more agile than any auxiliary security system anticipated. Within 40 minutes, all devices were placed, and he returned to the shadow. Infiltration complete. No alarms. Devices are active and transmitting. Similar missions unfolded across assembly space, stealth vessels gathering intelligence, disrupting supply chains, and identifying weaknesses in the vast galactic network. The humans struck like ghosts, leaving confusion and disruption in their wake, but never engaging directly. When assembly ships carrying stolen Earth resources disappeared without a trace, reclaimed by human stealth vessels, the Xilari had no explanation. When key communication nodes mysteriously malfunctioned, they suspected sabotage but couldn't find the perpetrators. When their secure databases were compromised, revealing the extent of their exploitation to other species, panic began to spread through the assembly leadership. The Deathworlders had stopped playing by the rules, and no one was prepared for what would happen next. Changing the rules of engagement. Grand Admiral Zex Thran stood before the Xilari High Command, his iridescent skin darkened to deep indigo with rage. The holographic display showed the extent of the disruption caused by human activities. 43 ships missing, 11 outposts compromised, and countless data systems infected with untraceable programs. These Deathworlders must be contained immediately, he declared, 4 arms gesturing emphatically at the display. I propose a full military response. We will deploy the combined fleet to Earth and show these primitives the consequences of defying the natural order. The Chamber of Elders murmured their approval. The humans had been problematic since their arrival on the galactic scene. Now they have become a threat. Begin preparations, ordered Supreme Elder Vexilia. The humans must learn their place. Across the galaxy, a massive war fleet assembled. Over 400 vessels, from enormous dreadnoughts to swift attack craft, prepared to contain the human threat once and for all. What the Xilari didn't know was that Lieutenant Commander Aisha Khan watched their every move. Hidden in a nebula near the Xilari shipyards, her vessel, the UES Phantom, recorded the fleet preparations and transmitted the data through a network of concealed relays back to Earth. They're gathering a force large enough to obliterate our entire solar system, she reported to Captain Elena Reyes, now promoted to Admiral and head of Earth's defense strategy. Elena studied the data with a grim smile. Right on schedule. How are our other initiatives progressing? On the bridge of the UES Defiance, now the flagship of Earth's growing fleet, Elena received updates from across the galaxy. The human resistance had expanded beyond mere harassment tactics. They had made contact with other exploited species, sharing technologies and tactics, building a hidden network of allies. The Drell, a reptilian species whose mineral-rich homeworld had been systematically stripped over 3 centuries, had eagerly joined forces with the humans. Their natural camouflage abilities, combined with human stealth technology, made them perfect infiltrators. The Corvin, massive bear-like beings evolved on a high-gravity world similar to Earth, provided strength and combat prowess that even humans couldn't match. Their world had been reduced to an industrial wasteland by assembly mining operations. The Vesh, a species of brilliant engineers whose innovations had been systematically appropriated by the assembly, now worked alongside human scientists to develop technologies the dominant species had never imagined. The coalition grows stronger each day, reported Ambassador Sofia Rodriguez, now Earth's chief diplomatic officer to their secret allies. 27 species have joined our cause, and the assembly remains blind to most of it, added Major Harrison, his holographic image flickering slightly as it transmitted from a hidden base in Drell territory. They're focused entirely on conventional military response. Elena nodded. Then we proceed to the next phase. Operation Paradigm Shift begins in 48 hours. All units prepare for coordinated action. The Xilari war fleet moved with implacable purpose toward the Sol system. Grand Admiral Zex Thran stood on the command deck of the dreadnought Eternal Dominance, anticipating the swift victory. The humans had shown cunning, but they could not possibly stand against the combined might of the Assembly's finest warships. "We will reach Earth in 6 hours," his executive officer reported. No sign of significant defensive preparations. Their primitive sensors have likely only just detected our approach. Zexfran's skin rippled with satisfaction. "Prepare the declaration of containment. Once their defenses are neutralized, we will establish military governance over all human worlds. Their resources will serve the Assembly as intended." "Admiral," the sensor officer called out suddenly, voice rising in pitch, "we're detecting anomalies throughout the fleet. Multiple ships reporting system failures." Before Zexfran could respond, the lights on his own command deck flickered and died. Emergency systems activated, bathing the bridge in red. The massive warship, pride of the Tilari fleet, drifted powerless in space. Throughout the fleet, the same scene repeated. Hundreds of warships suddenly rendered inert, their advanced systems corrupted by infections that had lain dormant in their computers for months, planted by human stealth operations and their allies. On the view screens of every disabled vessel, the same message appeared, translated into each species' language. "This is Admiral Elena Reyes of Earth. Your vessels have been temporarily neutralized. We could destroy them, and you, but that is not our way. Even now, we choose a different path than the one you would have taken with us." The message continued as Zexfran watched in mounting horror. "For too long, the Assembly has exploited Deathworld species, draining our resources while keeping us technologically dependent. Today that ends, not through destruction, but through revelation." The screen split to show thousands of data files, evidence of the Assembly's systematic exploitation of dozens of species over centuries. The same files were being broadcast to every world in Assembly space, revealed to populations who had been kept ignorant of their leaders' actions. "We Deathworlders evolved in environments that punished rigid thinking and rewarded adaptation. When the rules no longer served life, we changed them. Today, we change the rules of the galaxy." Smaller vessels appeared around the disabled fleet, human ships, accompanied by craft of Drell, Corvin, and other exploited species, not attacking, merely standing guard. "Your ships will regain power in 24 hours, enough time for your populations to process the truth we've revealed. When you return home, you will find representatives of all exploited species waiting to negotiate new terms for a truly equitable galactic community." Elena's face on the screen was stern but not vengeful. "You called us Deathworlders as if it were a curse. We showed you it's our strength. We didn't survive our harsh world by dominating others, but by adapting and cooperating when necessary. The Assembly can learn to do the same, or it can fade into history. The choice is yours." The transmission ended, leaving Zexfran staring at his reflection in the darkened screen. 3 months later, Elena Reyes stood in the newly formed Galactic Council chambers, watching representatives from over 200 species take their seats. The old Assembly had collapsed under the weight of its exposed corruption. In its place, a new order was forming, one built on transparency and genuine cooperation. The Xilari, stripped of their dominance, but not excluded, sat alongside species they had once exploited. Their society was undergoing painful reforms, but many, especially younger generations, embraced the change. "It won't be easy," Safia said, standing beside Elena. "Centuries of exploitation have left deep scars." "Nothing worthwhile ever is," Elena replied. "But look around. Predator species sitting with prey, high-gravity worlders with those evolved in microgravity, all finding common ground. It's what we do best as Deathworlders, adapt and find a way forward." As the session was called to order, Elena took her seat, representing not just Earth but the principle that had changed the galaxy. Sometimes, to create a better system, you have to stop playing by the old rules. The day Deathworlders broke the rules became the day every species in the galaxy learned a new way to coexist. The legend would be told for generations across thousands of worlds. How the humans, the Deathworlders who refused to be victims, transformed a corrupt galactic order not through superior firepower, but through adaptability, cooperation, and the courage to change the game itself.